Right. So have a good note, because I like you all to unmute and talk to me if you're not understood anything. And also remember, um, for you can ask any question through the chat, right? Okay. Now this subject, as I explained to you, it is an optional subject as financial clients management. And mind you, and one thing I want to tell you, this subject is an some sort of a mixed food subject, like a mixed food juice is a mixed food subject, where some of the survey parts may cover in a different angle. Then commercial banking also, some part also covers under financial clients management, and some low parts also covered under this part. So therefore, studying and following the financial client management, mind you have been benefited. That means, so you can easily pass. I will guarantee you get the pass marks, provided that you need to attend to all these lectures, or mean the online presentation. That is important. Don't purely depend on the note, because through my lecture I will tell you more than what you it is there in your handout. So therefore, I know it's at 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock is a bad time, but why we will try to make it very interesting and very joyful, right? And so the financial clients management, as I explained to you, is very interesting subject, and where you can see only HR part is covered under financial clients management. Even IEABF or DABF, no subject will cover human resource management aspects. Only the financial client management is covered the HR aspects. So that therefore is a unique, right? Okay. Now let me just to try to explain you uh, what is this subjects, and I am so 1 minute. So then basically I am a senior bank at leading government bank, and okay, so we try to discuss the first day, introduction to financial clients management, right? Okay. Now, why managing clients are important? Why managing clients are important for business like this? Now, you well aware, I think up to now, you may join yesterday and maybe listening to some of the lecturers today. So the banking and finance business critically depend on customer trust and confidence, not like any other businesses, but specifically the banking and finance business critically depend on customer trust and confidence, right? So damaging customer confidence, may lead to a failure of any business organization or any financial business organization. So the number one, why we need to manage clients, because client management or the banking finance is purely depend on customers trust and confidence, right? Okay, so therefore, so when we are dealing with customers as bankers and financial students, so when you're dealing with customers, when you're catering to the customer's requirement, we need to behave, we need to adapt more ethical practices, right? Ethical practices, right? And especially in marketing, especially in human resources and customer protections areas, right? So we have to treat our customers as good, as we are well known, right? So therefore, integrity of employees of the banks towards the customers will create a long-term sustainability of financial institution, right? Now, how customer trust and confidence build? Because of integrity of employees who provide the services to customer, So that ultimately depend on the customer trust and confidence. And if customer trust and confidence is uh, it's not there, remember, so you may lose your business. So in order to sustain your business or financial institution, you need to have a better customer trust and confidence. In order to build up the better trust and confidence, your employees must provide and what the customers want and do your job with utmost integrity and uh, support nature, right? Okay. So new. So let's look at it now. Right now, you heard about the financial crisis, right? You may heard about the financial crisis which took place in 2007, 2008. Now, some people are telling now this corona or COVID-19 is worse than financial crisis. Yes, that's a different issue, right? But this is due to loss of trust and confidence of the customers, right? So the financial crisis 2007 2008 period, it was happened in the world due to the fact that the loss of trust and custom, right? Now you noted that uh, some of the bigger bank in the world, in 150-year-old Wall Street investment bank called Lehman Brothers. I think some of you may already heard that. Lehman Brothers, Bank of America, Northern Rock Bank in UK. There are a lot of banks in USA and Western countries collapse during 2000 and 2008. One of the reason is why? Because of the loss of trust and confidence of the bank. Now you look at the bank worth. Now see, what is the Sri Lankan economy? What is the value of the Sri Lankan economy? Can anybody tell me what is the Sri Lankan value of economy? Can anybody knows what is the value of Sri Lankan economy? Can anybody, any person can tell me? Huh? Now I have some names here. Ashar, are you aware of the answer? What is the total value of the Sri Lankan economy? First thing, that's what I told you. This subject is benefited to pass the other subject as well, right? While we are discussing, what is the total value of the Sri Lankan economy in terms of US dollar? How much you think? Aish, Chamodi, oh, fantastic! I get the correct answer. Laksita, yes, around 84 billion US dollars. Very good. I'm like that, right? So that is the way we have to deal with, right? So fantastic. So I very much appreciated the answers given. So Sri Lankan economy is around 84, right? Exactly correct. Now you look at it. You look at it. The value of certain banks. You see, US dollars 690 billion. Now one Bank of America is 1.8 trillion. Northern Rock Bank is sterling pound 113 billion. Now you see these banks value is more than the Sri Lankan economy value. Right? Now you can see even the fact of these banks collapse during 2007 and 2008, but now they are coming back again. But collapse, why? Because of the customer trust and confidence, loss of trust and confidence. Now you see lot of issues because of this financial crisis took place in the world, mainly because the loss of customer trust and confidence. And you noted that there is some incidents here. You see a lot of people are just moving to the physically to the bank, and when the bank is at the bad food, We have experience in Sri Lanka. We had, you see, Swarna Mahal, ETI, a lot of people go to the bank and ask the money that they are depositors and all. Why? Because they lost the confidence about these financial institutions. Likewise, there are in 2007, 2008 is the world UK big bank like Northern Rock Bank, right? People are rushed to the physically to the bank and ask the money, right? So how you call that incidents, right? Now let's look at it. We are going to learn the fundamental first two jargon about banking. One is depositor run, other one is electronic run. Now you have the tune with you, so certain things when I dictate, please write that, right? Okay, so okay. Now say, now what do you mean by a electronic run? Now what do you mean by a depositor run? Now depositor run, as explained to you, this is the situation. Now people are, right, move into the Northern Rock Bank and ask the money. So what is then depositor run? You can write depositor run as this, right? Please write. Any distrust situation, any distrust situation, any distrust situation, DISTRUST, any distrust situation is contagious, CONTAGIOUS, contagious. Any distrust situation is contagious, leading leading LADING customers to run to bank physically. Run to bank physically. අර ඔක්කොම පොදු ගහලා බැංකුවට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. Run to bank physically and try to withdraw the money from the bank, and try to withdraw the money from the bank is called depositor run. Now why things happen? This is a real life actual situation. People lost the trust and confidence about this bank, irrespective of their size. But people rush to the bank and ask for the money, and that phenomena, that incidence is called depositor run. Okay, right. We learned the first jargon or first banking thing, what you call depositor run, right? Any distrust situation is contagious, leading customers to run to bank physically and try to withdraw the money from the bank is called depositor run. Now, before you move into the bank, before you physically run to the bank, because of today's development, what customers try to do? Now say something. Now say, example, you come for IBSL Boralla head office for lectures, right? For an example, right? Then suddenly you found that there's a bomb blast took place within the inside of IBSL lecture building where you are having the lectures going on. You got information, your mother and your father got information through the TV or SMS or whatever. Now what your father, mother try to do? They try to call you immediately, use your mobile phone to son or daughter, whether you are okay. And then you say, yeah, I am okay. Now what they try to do? First you try to communicate through electronic form, whether you are living or not. Suppose that you are not answer the phone. You are not answer the phone. What your father and mother or relatives or who is the closest friend you are trying to do? Immediately they try to rush to the Boralla and see whether you are there. Physically run to the IBS. Likewise, before a depositor run, what is taking place in business is electronic run. So what do you mean by electronic run? Any distress situation, same thing. Any distress situation, you can write under that, any distress situation is contagious. Contagious, that is contagious, leading customers to withdraw the money by any electronic forms, from the bank. We are using some electronic methodology to try to withdraw your money. So that is we call electronic run. So now you learn to run, electronic run, depositor run. There's another run we are going to discuss later on. That is what you call bank run. That is called bank run. Right. Okay.
Sir, can you repeat that again, please?
So right. Okay. The electronic run one. Both. Okay. Any distress situation. Now, okay, I will explain to you the deposit run first, right? Depositor run. Depositor run mean any distress situation. D-I-S-T-R-U-S-T. Distress situation. Any distress situation. Any distress situation is contagious. C-O-N-T-A-G-I-O-U-S. Right? Is contagious, leading customers to run to bank physically. To run the bank physically. So that is, you see the Northern Rock Bank, there are a lot of people run to the bank physically. Right? Run to the bank physically and try to withdraw the money from the bank. Try to withdraw the money from the bank is called depositor run. Right? And electronic run means the same thing. Any distress situation is contagious, leading to withdraw the money. How? Any electronic form from the bank is called electronic run. Okay, you understood, Puta? Clear? The person
Yes,
just asked, right? Okay, right. Okay, now you see the situation. If you have that is why the maintaining of trust and confidence play an important role. Okay, right. So we move into the next slide then. Right. So why there are several issues that make financial services is different. Right. Not like any other businesses. We are selling financial products now. So it is little difficult, not like selling sunlight or any goods, but it is difficult. Now let's look at it, why financial services are different. One factor, in normal businesses, in most industries, what we are selling? We are selling items or goods for money. Right? Only money, only we can get some goods. But in financial services, what they are selling? We are selling money. So that's the one reason. So the moment you say money, it's very sentimental, very, it's appealing one. Everybody is very concerned about the money. Second point. Now, when you compare it with other businesses, areas, the regulations, right? The regulations are not much so intense than financial services. Because why? Because we are dealing with other people's money. So somebody need to be regulated, all these financial institutions, very well. Despite the fact of many regulations, still some of our financial institutions, how they play a role, right? But usually remember, the regulations are far more intense in financial services than any other businesses. Now, who regulate the banks in Sri Lanka? Can anybody unmute and tell me who regulate the banks in Sri Lanka? Who is the operating body?
Central Bank of
Right, Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Very good, fantastic. I like the way you are dealing with the involving with the discussions. Good. Right. Next one. And also remember another factor why financial services is little different. It deals with services, not products. The moment you see the products, they are tangible. Now the services are intangible. So we going to discuss little later on what is intangible and tangible. But one of the other factors, services are different, right? Very intangible, which causes issues for services providers and clients where you can't see, right? Okay. The next one, the another different is issue in the services business is distribution. Now today, because of the development of the IT, development of the digitalizations and all, the distribution is very complex and regulated and changing continuously. So therefore, these are the few reasons why financial institutions are basically different than any other businesses. Okay, right. So if I ask from you now, now we are going to discuss a little bit of services. We are going to discuss a little bit of services. Okay, right. Little bit of services. Right. So before that, before you move into the services, can anybody tell me how many banks in Sri Lanka? Can any volunteer? How many banks in Sri Lanka?
25.
25. Right now, Pudha, now we are bankers. We need to be updated. Updated, right? Okay. 25 is not the 100% correct answer. Any others? Any others can suggest how many banks in Sri Lanka? Any suggestion? Don't worry. පේන්නේ නැහැනේ බොරු උත්තරයක් කිව්වත් කමක් නැහැ. ඔයාව අඳුරන්නේ නැහැනේ. ඔය කියන්නේ එතකොට තමයි අනිත් ඒවා. Huh?
20.
30. I didn't get at you.
20.
20, 28. Oh, close. Very close. 30. I didn't get it.
32.
I heard 28, then I heard 30, but I didn't get something missing in between.
32.
No. You said 28, somebody said 30. There's something missing in between. Right.
29.
So you are a
29, 29.
29. You are a very smart guys. You know how to give the correct answers, right? Good, very good. So how 29? Now how 29 consists of? Now, you know, in bank in Sri Lanka, divided into two, no? So in order to do the business in banks, you need to get the license from where? Our regulator. Who is our regulator? Central Bank of Sri Lanka. So everybody cannot do banking business, no? So only if we want to do the banking business, we need to register, and also we need to get the license from Central Bank. That is why we call licensed banks. So there are two types of banks in Sri Lanka. One is licensed commercial bank. Other one is licensed specialized bank. Okay, clear? There are two types of banks in Sri Lanka: licensed specialized bank and licensed commercial bank. So what is the difference between licensed specialized bank and licensed commercial bank? What is the difference? Can anybody tell me what is the difference between licensed specialized bank and what is the difference between licensed commercial bank? Can anybody tell me?
Licensed commercial banks has credit card facilities, but licensed specialized bank doesn't have the credit card facilities.
No, Puta. Certain specialized bank also can do the credit card facilities, right? Now, say for an example, even for RBB is a specialized bank, can do credit bank, right? Okay, try very innovative way of thinking. But the main difference is, Puta, the commercial banks are supposed to do businesses with their current accounts, or what you call demand deposits. They can accept the demand deposit, or what you call can maintain the current account. Where specialized bank not permitted to do with current accounts. That means they cannot issue checkbooks, right? Current account. And the second factor, so the licensed specialized bank have some limitations about foreign business activities. There are some relaxation, but not fully fledged international businesses, right? There are some limitations, but the main difference between commercial banks and licensed specialized bank is the operating of current accounts. Okay, clear? Right, that's the main difference. Based on that, how many licensed commercial banks in Sri Lanka? Now the total number is exactly, you said correct, at the moment, right? It's at the moment 29. Yes. So out of 29, how many commercial banks in Sri Lanka? How many specialized savings banks in Sri Lanka? Can anybody tell me out of 29? Rather guesses. Right? And this is good for your, I told you, commercial banking, survey, all will benefited, right? Okay, tell me how many commercial banks in Sri Lanka, licensed commercial bank, right? We had at the moment, somebody said 25 is correct, but now is 23 commercial banks in Sri Lanka as at today. Now, what is the banks two missing? Now you need to know there are two banks in Sri Lanka. Those are not Sri Lankan banks, Sri Lanka Private Bank. To the two banks, anybody knows what are the two banks is not now operating in Sri Lanka? We had 25 years, correct? But now is 23. There are two banks, there are two international banks were not operating in Sri Lanka now. What are these two banks in Sri Lanka? Can anybody tell me? Two international banks in Sri Lanka not operating in Sri Lanka at the moment. That is why it's 23. Can anybody tell me the two banks? One bank is okay.
Public bank.
I can hear you, Puta.
Public bank.
No, public bank is operating at the moment. That is any guesses? ICICI Bank. That's a one bank. You know where that is located in Dharmapala Mawata, Kolpiti. What is the other bank? Again at Kolpiti. What is the other bank? Any guesses? Axis Bank. Axis Bank, right? Sometimes the examiner will ask from these. What are the two banks not operated in Sri Lanka? Now, the other bank is Axis Bank. So there's a two banks are requested from central bank to not to operate business in Sri Lanka due to various their own reasons, maybe the profit factor or any other thing, right? There are 23 banks. Then how many say specialized bank in Sri Lanka? If it is a case, you know that, no? It's 6. What are the 6? What are the 6 banks? The 6 banks are National Savings Bank, then HDFC Bank, State Mortgage Bank, what else? Regional Development Bank, what else? Sri Lanka Savings Bank, right? And there's another bank, what is that? HDFC, State Mortgage, National Savings, Sri Lanka Saving, right, Sanasa Development Bank, SDB. Right? Those are, we call them as savings bank. We had 7. Now recently, you know what happened? Lankaputra Development Bank was taken over by the Regional Development Bank. So therefore, that is not there. But the National Savings Bank also taken, the Sri Lanka Savings Bank taken over by the National Savings Bank, but they still, Sri Lanka Savings Bank operate independently. That is why 6. You know the 6 banks, right? Okay, now you know 29 banks in Sri Lanka. If I go further and ask from you, how many finance companies in Sri Lanka? So you must know who your competitors. Can anybody tell me how many finance companies? Now again, you need to get a registration form or license from central bank, right? Those the finance companies also regulated by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Now, how many finance companies in Sri Lanka? Can anybody tell me?
39.
39, exactly. Very good. So how do you get to know all these things? Good. What are the 3 finance companies not operated last year or this year? They have, central bank has cancelled their license. What are the three financial institutions?
The finance.
Answer.
ETI.
The Finance, ETI, and Swarna
Swarnamaha.
Swarnamal Investment Limited. Good. So that is why it's 39. Okay, very good. Very nice. Very good answer. I'm very happy. You know, there's a new, there may be 39, there may be going to be 38 very soon. Why? Can anybody tell me? Now we had 39. Now it's may going to be 38 very soon. Why? Why 38? Any guesses? Anybody knows that? There may be 38 very soon, not 39, but at the moment is 39. There is a possibility of reduction for another financial institution. What is that case? That is the one, you know, Singapore Finance Company and Nation Lanka Finance Company going to be amalgamated, going together. So there is a possibility of another losing, but not now, right? There are 39 exactly. Then I'll ask from you, what is how many finance leasing companies in Sri Lanka? Only doing the leasing business. Can anybody tell me how many finance leasing companies in Sri Lanka? Registered finance leasing companies in Sri Lanka. Can anybody tell me? Like 39? Good. How many finance leasing companies? Only finance leasing. There are some finance companies can do leasing, but there are some institutions established only for financial leasing purposes. Can anybody tell me how many number? It is 4, right? It is 4. So therefore, altogether 43 finance companies and leasing companies operating in Sri Lanka as at today. Right. Now I am asked from you very simple question. What is the difference between finance companies and commercial banks? What is the difference between finance companies and leasing bank and banks, commercial bank? Can anybody tell me what is the difference between finance companies and a commercial bank?
Current account facility.
Yes, correct. Same one, current account facility. Right. Then I'll ask from you another further question. What is the difference between leasing finance companies and finance company?
Cannot accept deposit.
Cannot
Accept deposit.
accept deposit from the public. By whom?
Leasing company.
Leasing companies cannot accept the public deposit funds. Right, deposits, right? That's very good, very good. Right, now you have an idea about what sort of financial institution we need to deal, right? Okay, so now having understood these little bit of thing, we are moving to understand what is a service, right? Service. Now, who is Philip Kotler? Have you heard about Philip Kotler? Anybody heard about the Philip Kotler? Huh? No idea? Who is Philip Kotler? Philip Kotler supposed to be father of management. Sorry, father of marketing. Who? Father of marketing. Now he's still living, right? Right? Still living. Only living guy who came to Sri Lanka maybe 6-7 years ago for do some conference, right? So Philip Kotler considers to be the father of marketing. Now he defined his principles of marketing book. What is a service? Now we as bankers, financial institutions are involving in what sort of business? We are involving in services businesses, right? So what is service? Service is any activity or benefit that both party can offer to another, essentially intangible in nature and does not result in any ownership of anything. Now that is the Philip Kotler's definition. So you need to understand that within product, what is there? Any activity can offer to the customer for which is essentially intangible nature. Right. Now, what are the unique characteristics of a service? What are the unique, now we are going to learn that, right? What are the unique characteristics of a services, right? Special characteristics. How, another way we can ask from you, how it differ from product, how services are differed from product. So services have 4 important unique characteristics, or maybe you can put some more points here. Apart from these 4 points, you can add ownership. Okay, but unique characteristics of services are, we call, inseparability, heterogeneity, intangibility, perishability, right? What are the characteristics? Inseparability, heterogeneity, intangibility, perishability, right? That is why we are very difficult to sell the services, because these specific unique characteristics performed by the services. Now, let me now try to understand, we try to explain, we try to get a meaning of what do you mean by these specific characteristics. Okay, we move to the next slide. Okay, what is intangibility, right? What is intangibility? Now, intangibility means, we discussed earlier also, and it is not appeal to our, what? Our senses. You can smell it, you cannot taste it, you cannot see it, you can heard, feel, or whatever before you purchase, right? So what make them difficult then? Now this means, because of these characters of intangibility, which is not appealing to your taste, appealing to your 5 senses, you cannot see, you cannot taste, you cannot feel, you can hear, smell before you bought. So therefore, remember, this means customer find the difficulty in evaluating service before purchase. Right? You can just put under that, if you like. You can say it is customer is facing a difficulty of evaluating before purchase. Right? Very difficult to evaluate before purchase. Now, say for a goods can be, now say this. Now I have hand disinfector. I can feel it. I can see it. I can open and put it here. I can smell it. All things I can see. But it's not like service. That is a difficult task. Once you purchase, only you can see whether this good or bad. And that is the specific feature of services. Now, how can you, as bank, we all are service providers. Now, I'll just give you some food, right? Now, as bankers, we are offering an intangible services, product or intangible thing. Now, what we try to do, we try to convert, as bankers, try to convert intangible to tangible, tangibilize. How can you do that? How can you make it intangible to tangibilize? What banks can do to that? So only tangibilize we can see, no? So because of the bank services is intangible, what banks try to do, they try to convert intangibility to tangibilize. How can you do? One fact, because you can do through one way, some testimonial example. You can, through the testimonial, through providing physical evidence, what we are going to discuss. So we can make it tangibilize, or you can make it tangibilize. Now, say for one example, your bank symbols, your dress code. So, okay, now say for example, you take a lady, girl. Now you are walking in the road. So how boys get to know which school you are going to? Right now, say school lady, school girl is walking to a school. Now boys want to see which school she is going. Right? How he get to know? Because of
From the type.
Right, about the tie, your badge, the way, the color way, the round color, the hataras color, the at, the at, that is, you can see which school he's going. Okay, clear, right? Your dress code and all will have some unique, like banks. So this is way how can you convert your intangible as to tangible. Or otherwise you can have a testimonial. So go to this bank, very good, right? Testimonial from other people, right? That is why you see some of the drinks are used by certain people. That is why some people use old characters, some senior celebrities to use their products. Now, like big seniors cricketers, they are having an account with these banks and all. Why? They try to intangibilize the intangible things. I just give you an example on that, right? Okay, now you understood what you meant by intangibility and how bank try to address this issue, right? Next point. Second one is what you call inseparability. Inseparability. Now, inseparability means services and the providers or service providers consume at the same time. It cannot be separated from their providers. So therefore, simultaneous production and consumptions are taking place. Okay, I'll give an example. Now think about hair cutter, right? So customer has to go to the hair cutter, or either hair cutter comes to you. Either Harry has need to come to you to dress, or you need to go to the Harry's place to dress him. So that is the services nature, inseparability. But now banks are addressing these issues now, right? Now, if a service employee provides the service, then the employees become part of the service. So you are become part of the service, right? Now, this is you can contrast with your physical good, which is produced, stored, and distributed for future consumption, where service cannot be keep it. Inseparability, right? So that is the important things, right? The service show inseparability. So produce and consume at the same time. Clear? Right. So that's the second feature of services. I hope you understood, right? If not, please unmute and tell me, sir, mata eka තේරුන්නේ ආයි පාරක් කියන්න. ඒ උදාහරණේ තේරුන්නේ නැවත කියන්න. Right? Okay. Now we move into the third specific characteristic of a service. That is what you call heterogeneity, or sometimes we call variability. So means that quality of services may vary greatly depend on how provides them and when, where, and how they are provided. Now, simple is it. Now, say for an example, you are same person. So, because you are in the counter of the bank as a teller or maybe banking assistant, so you give me a right top services. Every time I look at it, you are in the counter. I try to come to your counter to do the transaction because you are so helpful, right? But one day I come to your counter and you are really totally different person. So you are treated me like totally different. I so wondered what happened to you. But the same person in the morning maybe behave in a different way. Because you are called by the manager and regard you for some work and you get upset, or your mother or somebody you call and you make it upset. Now you can't provide the same service. That is the nature of the services. That is the nature of the services, right? Now you see two branches. Now take example, take two branches within the same band. Two branches within the same band. So you may experience a variable services owing to the capabilities of their respective managers and the staff. Nothing wrong. Same bank, but two branches. The heterogeneity is the service level or provide is vary from branch to one and also person to person and time to time. So that is a specific nature. Now say for an example, sunlight. Take a soap, sunlight soap. So it's once you produce it's same. Today, tomorrow, same way. So that is another difference between the specific feature of heterogeneity or services. අපි සමහරවිට අද මෙයා කොහෙන් නැගිටලාද මන් දන්නේ නැහැ. මොකක්ද මන් දන්නේ නැහැ. අද කොහෙන්ද නැගිට්ටේ? අපි කියනවනේ. නේද? අපි සමහරවිට කියනවා අද කොහෙන්ද නැගිට්ටේ? ඇද්දේ කොයි පැත්තෙන්ද නැගිට්ටේ? Something like that. So because of the services nature, heterogeneity nature, right? That's the third characteristics. And the fourth characteristics is the perishability. So what do you mean by the perishability? The perishability means the services cannot be stored for later use or use in the future day. Now say, so again I'll take the example for sunlight. So if you are not selling today, you can keep it for selling tomorrow. But services cannot keep it for tomorrow. You cannot stockpiling. You cannot keep the stuff for selling tomorrow. Example, I'll give you two examples. Think about the hotel rooms. So hotel room occupancy, say one hotel is having 100 rooms, right? If you are not occupied by the guests all these 100 rooms, so you cannot keep it for tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another business day for them. Like air flight, right? Now is another example. Can you now say flight going to take today so we have a 200 seats, but only 100 people, 100 seats are occupied or 100 tickets are booked. So flight need to go. Can you keep it for tomorrow? No. So only flights will run for 100 people. So that is what you call the perishability. So you cannot store it for tomorrow, right? The hotel room and airline seats that is not occupied represent lost revenue that cannot be gained or for another day, right? So that is why here marketers or the banks need to manage, but important managing demand and supply, right? Because of the perishability nature, right? And the last one we call ownership, right? Ownership. Now, once you purchase the item, once you purchase the soap, right, sunlight, it is belong to you, right? Now you take a ticket, bus, right? You are traveling from, say, from Boralla to somewhere Dehiwala. We say for an example, you get into the bus, they give you a ticket. While you are going through the Dehiwala, you have the rights. But the moment you get down from the bus, from the Dehiwala, the ownership is not belong to you. You are getting the transport services from the bus, but the ownership is not there. Clear? Right, that is a ownership. So how to remember these specific differences? How can you remember the differences? So I will tell you easy way of remembering this. You work out ship. What is ship? SHIP. You remember ship, then you know the differences between product and services. S means separability, H means heterogeneity, SHIP, SHIP. I, intangibility, P, perishability. If you want put O, we call ship O, right? So now you know how to remember easily what is the difference between product and services. Then I'll give you a handout to you and the Word document. You can see some more differences between product and services that for the references purposes. Okay, have you understood now? Okay, Terunada?
Yes,
ID?
sir.
Yes, okay. No problem? Nani sadda? Buddhida? Right.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay, right, okay. I just put a joke, right? Okay, now,
Next,
yeah, go ahead.
do we need to add ownership as a characteristics of services? Or are there?
Fantastic. Yes, good. Now, good questions. I like questions like that. I waited why you are not mentioned that. Usually, we will consider a special characteristic as SHIP, that is for. But there is no any hard and fast rule of putting ownership to that also. There are some textbooks, they included ownership as also a differentiator, as some are not using. So it is your liberty to put ownership as a specific characteristics, right? There is no any hard and fast rule. Always better to put ownership for safe side. Okay, good questions. I like that. Very good. Right. Okay. I think you understood now what
Yes,
is the
thank you, sir.
difference. Yeah. Go ahead, Pudha. Any questions you want to raise? No. Okay. Now let's look at it. The questions. Now this is where I ask. I will conduct the lectures. Now once I completed the particular section, I will take whatever the question asked from that section from the last previous years. Now remember, in our case, in the exam point of view, right? In exams point of view, uh, 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 so we started this new syllabus or the new course from 2014 September onwards. So look at it now, 2014 September, one exam. Then we had 2 times per year, no? Then 2015 March, September. Then you have 3, right? Then you have uh, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we have 6 years. 6 years exam, right? Unfortunately, we didn't have an exam from 2028 because of this, due to this COVID-19, right? It will be postponed. They are going to have it in somewhere in March. But remember, for you, for new students, we have planned to have the exam somewhere in May, not March exam, right? March, there are 2 exams were missed. That is September. So we have all the questions papers we are discussing up to, therefore only up to 2019, because we didn't have any exam in year 2020, right? So that means we have categorized 2020 is examless year in IBSA. Right? Okay. So we have all the 2019. So 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We had 66 years exams. That means how many papers? We have 12 exam papers under the new syllabus. Right? Under this syllabus, we have a 12 exams conducted from 2014 September only up to 2019 September. So therefore, all the questions, especially the MCQ, comes under all these 12 exams. If there's any questions came in that topic which we have covered, I am going to give you here. Some questions are not in handout, but I will try to put into the screen, right? Okay. Now, before you answer this question, I will take you for your question paper, right? It is in your handout. You see, there are some space for question paper. It is given in your handout, right? Okay, let's look at it before you be answering any question. I think most of you may be aware how your question paper is going to be set. This is not only for my subject, and that is uniform for all other subjects as well. Okay, so I think you are well aware on that. So your question paper is consist of it's allocated, time allocated 3 hours. The first one, as usual, like A level, you are very, Sri Lankan students are very smart students. If Sri Lankan A level students, if you pass the A level, is the most challenging exam. I will tell you, you can pass any exam if you pass the A level in Sri Lanka. I am guarantee on that because it's so tough, so difficult. But in that sense, IBSL exams is simple, right? තේරුණා නේද? A level exam කරපු අපිට IBSL exam කජ්ජද්ද කියලා හිතෙන්න පුළුවන්. But our exam paper consists of like this. Exam paper, every exam subject we have 3-hour paper. 15 minutes additional to read the paper. ඉතින් අපි ඉතින් මොකද කරන්නේ? ඔය 15වත් උත්තර ලියන්නේ try කරන්නේ නේද? So we indirectly we have a 3.25 paper type. So paper consists of 8 questions. Usually every paper usually consists of 8 questions. For maximum marks for each question is 20 as usual. So 5 questions to be answers out of 8. So therefore you have options there. You have options. Only 5 questions to be answers out of 8 questions, right? But important thing is in this syllabus, the question number 1 is compulsory. There's no questions. No, there is no selection. So it is compulsory. So first question usually consists of like this. The first question is usually consists of 5 MCQ questions. It's usually having 10 questions, right? 10 questions carry 2 marks each, will end up with 20 marks. So these 10 questions consist of 5 MCQ questions. Now, what do you mean by 5 MCQ questions mean? So you have given the question and you have the choice 4 answers, right? Out of these 4 answers also, you noted that 2 are totally out. So there is a small similarity to be selected 50-50, right? So we have a 50-50 option. So other 5 questions is short answer question. They will ask a question. You try to answer short answer, right? No MCQ. එතකොට පොට්ටේ පහක් තියෙනවා, ලියන්න පහක් තියෙනවා. Altogether 10 questions carry 20 marks. Now as a student, you, with my experience for the last almost 15-60 years of marking exam papers under this subject as well, and you noted that the students who got higher marks for question number 1 is definitely passed the exam, right? That's, you try to answer question number 1, it's easy to earn 20 marks. If you can earn around 14, 12, you definitely pass the exam. If you can earn 16, 18, where you can get with the credits at B standards, right? So try to concentrate question number 1. One is compulsory and one is very easy, right? Try to score more marks from the question number 1, right? And the 4 questions to be answered out of the balance 7, and each questions, we have a 4 sub questions. That means one question have a 4 sub parts which carry 5 marks. So 5 into 4, 20. Yeah. Any question? Right. This is the how your question paper is consist of, and this is not only for financial client management, for that matter for all other subjects like commercial banking, survey, law, financial, all are same. This is the format. Okay, now you have an idea about how your question paper look like. Having understood that part, we are trying to now move into the answer the first question 2018 September, where you can get 2 marks. Okay, now everybody, you are having the answer. Okay, can you mark the answer for this? Services exhibit several unique characteristics that differentiate them from products. Which of the following is not considered as a characteristics of a service? Simple. Now you see, easy to mark 2 marks. Huh? What's the answer?
Tangibility.
Tangibility. Good. So you see now how simple. 2 marks. Now how many marks you need to pass the exam? Now you already got 2 marks. So how many marks you need? Another 43 marks. So your pass mark is 45, right? If you want to pass, but I expect from you to get a B at least, be more than credit, but at least if you want to pass, so you already got 2 points, right? Okay, good. Now let's look at another question in 2019 September, which is the last question paper. This appeared in IBSL in 2019 September. Again, the question number 1, right? Can you answer for this? What is the difference between intangibility and inseparability of services in marketing?
Yes, sir.
Right, can answer now? Right. So if you want to further style, what is intangibility, what is inseparability, you have to give what I explained to you in points. That is, you get 2 points. Right? Some students will get right only intangibility, but you are not supposed to give marks, but sometimes we give 1 mark for explaining. But it is not correct because you asked to differentiate the intangibility. So if you really look at it, example, as we explained, intangibility means that services cannot be seen, tested, felt, or live, and this means a customer find it difficult in evaluating a service before purchase surgery. Now, say for example, cosmetic surgery. I just put an example. Now, you say if somebody want to have a cosmetic surgery, then surgery එක කරලා වෙනකන් ඔගොල්ලෝ දැන් නෑනේ කොහොම වෙයිද කියන මූණ නේද අපි තුම cosmetic surgery එකක් කරන්න ඕනේ මූණ ලස්සන කරගන්න. දැන් මොකද්ද තියෙන අපිට guarantee එක මූණ මේ surgery කළාම හොඳ වෙයිද එහෙම නැත්නම් ලස්සන වෙයිද කියලා. Till such time you cannot done it, you cannot see. සමහරවිට කොණ්ඩේ කපුවමත් වෙනවා නේද? කොණ්ඩේ කපලා නම් අපි දන්නේ කොණ්ඩේ කපුවම කොයි වගේ හිටීද කියලා. Right. Okay. So then what is inseparability? So you have to write. Okay. With this point, now I will move into with these 2. Okay. Up to now you are okay, right? මොකද කියන්නේ කට්ටිය? Then you are okay up to now?
Yes, sir.
Asha? Good. Aish? So I have some names here. Chamod, I will select Dimani, Yattivela, Deepthi. I will just announce the names, no problem, no? Arita, Hasani, Hiruni, Kalpa, Kaushalya. Right, okay. Sandanika, okay, good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I go through your list, right? So, okay, going back again to our normal slide. So now we are going to discuss. Now we discussed earlier the why services are different, right? Now why services become different? What are the reasons for that? Now we are going to discuss some key issues driving these differences. Why make it a difference? One product is, you know, the many financial products are Puta, there are some mics to be unmuted, right? Puta, there are some mics to be unmuted. There's no, it's okay. Now, many financial products are just too technical for client to grasp properly. So, not like any other product. Puta, some of your mic was muted. So, unmuted, please mute the mic, right? Okay, students. Some of your mics are unmuted. Please mute the mic, right? Yes, somebody is please mute your microphone. Okay, right. Okay, some of the key issues driving this are why services are different. one factor is many financial products are too technical for the client to grasp properly. Very difficult to understand, no? So average layman is very difficult to understand the financial product, their characteristics, right? How how the banks will calculate the interest rate sometimes, especially for especially for savings product. Somebody put the money, take the money, put the money again, taking money back again 2 days time. So end of the day, the bank will tell you this is the interest rate you are going to get it. So are you trying to calculate is the correct or wrong? Very difficult, no? So because of the two technical features, very difficult to understand. And also contracts, and a bank customer is a contractual relationship that you need to understand. So that you're going to learn under law. Anybody who's doing the law, bank customer relationship is a contractual relationship. නීතියානුකූලව බැඳිලා තිබෙන සම්බන්ධයක්. Contract are often one side. Therefore, this contract usually is one-sided in favor. උගක් වෙලාවට කාගේ පැත්තද වාසි? බැංකුව පැත්තට. Right? So that's another important factor. And also information is usually asymmetric. Again, තොරතුරු වැඩි හැම එකක්ම අපි කියන්නේ නැහැ නේද customer ට. Supposed to tell, but we are not going to tell every information to the customer. The bad things we are not going to tell you, but you are supposed to tell, but you are not going to tell. And also, and whatever the information also, a client is of inadequate or difficult to understand. Why? Because the banks are having different jargon, very difficult to understand. So customers not try to, because customers have enough problem, they don't want to understand any banking jargon because they believe bank. That's the important thing. So, and also the comparisons of through price are extremely difficult. Pricing also very difficult. Right? I will explain to you later on. Some people are telling annual effective rate. Some people are telling compound interest rate. Some people are telling annual interest rates. People get confused. So through price are extremely difficult. I will explain to you later on. So why these comparisons of through price are extremely difficult. So due to these factors, remember, so that is why these banks products are become very different, right? So have anybody is aware what is annual effective rate? Can anybody know what is annual effective rate? AER. Can anybody knows what is AER? Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of annual effective rate? No idea? Right? Okay. සද්ද නැහැ. ඇහෙනවද මම කියන එක? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right. So
Yes,
anybody
sir.
knows what is AER? AER? No idea. Annual effective rate? Okay, so don't worry. I will explain to you what is annual effective rate later on with some question, right? So we have time to learn all these things. So that is why I told you is the comparisons of through price are extremely difficult. Okay, so now you have got an idea about what is the why the what is services are little bit difficult to sell to the customers than any products. Okay, right. Now you got an idea now about our difficulty of marketing or selling financial product and services. Okay, now let me go to discuss with you our subject. What are the things we are going to learn? So you need to understand that now. So I'm going to explain what are the next couple of months we are going to discuss. Right? So there are 5 key subject coverage areas under financial client management. And I want to tell you this also. There may be some overlapping in some of the subjects with our subjects. That is why you had an advantage. Because as I explained to you in the beginning, commercial banking, survey, law, right? There may be a repetition, so maybe some of the elements you may be benefited by doing class management because it's an optional. So you may benefited of doing financial client management. Right. Let's look at it. What are the key subject coverage areas? 5 areas, not much. Right. First one, we need to understand type of financial clients. So I will explain to you what is financial type of financial client. Second, customer protections, laws and practices. Okay, I'm going to deeply explain to you what are the things covered under this section. And these are the 5 sections: clients confidence management, financial product marketing, and applications of HRM for efficient delivery of client services. Okay, HRM only studied at in the financial clients management, not any other area. Right. Okay, these are the 5 key areas you are going to learn under financial clients management. Now we try to discuss little details of all these key areas. What are the things covered under this main subject area? Okay, first we take types of financial clients. So what are the things we are going to learn? You know, there are different type of bank customers. One customers are depositors who deposit the money with the bank. Some customers are borrowing from the bank, right? We call them as borrowers. Okay. Some people are invest money in banking products. We call them as investors. And some people are obtaining certain services, payment services from bank. Customers who obtain the services from bank, we call payment service customers or clients. So therefore, we need to study who are our different type of financial clients. Who are depositors? Now the people who deposit the money in the savings account, we call saving depositors. Customers who open current account, we call current account holders. People who deposit FD, we say term deposit holders, fixed deposit holders. We need to understand what are the type of products they are going to deposit. What are the features of the product? What are the characteristics of the depositor? We need to understand both together. Right? Because why? Because certain customers have a different appetite. We call certain risk appetite. So we need to understand. There are some financial customers you have, right, willing to take risk. Right? We call them as risk lover. Risk lover. If they want to, right, take the risk, they go in for products which give you higher interest, higher return, higher benefits, but at a risk. Right? So customers can be categorized on that ground. Risk averse. So what type of products these customers are go? We need to understand the risk appetite. Some people don't like to take any more risk. They go for banks who give the 100% guarantee of their deposits return. So these people, we call them as risk averse. Ammo risk na ipa, avadanam na ipa. Right? So banks need to understand the risk appetite of different customers. Based on that, the bank will develop different type of products. We call depositors. And then we have a borrowers. We have a different set of borrowers. We have a different credit products, right? We have personal loan, overdraft facility, pouring business, what else? Housing loan, import loan, pledging, so certain things you learn in the commercial banking. That is why I told you, right? There are a lot of credit products available. So you need to understand who purchase, who take, who buy, or who open, who take these accounts, right? Those are we call borrowers. So what are the characteristics of individual products, credit products, lending product? What are the features of borrowers? What type of people are going for housing loan? We need to understand. So type of financial clients who buy these products, who buys these lending products, right? Then we going for us investors, right? So who are going to invest the money in stock market, right? Investing treasury bills and treasury bonds, take some commercial papers. There are a lot of products, instruments available, and investors, different type of customers, also invested some money and try to earn more profits. So we need to understand who are the investors, what are the type of instruments available for them, and the type of financial clients. We're going to discuss in more detail. Then there's another set of customers who are, we call them as payment service clients. Now you go to the bank for deposit the money, not only deposit the money, pay your utility bills, you want to transfer some money to another account, like that. You want to get some services from bank. For that, we have new systems, right? We call them as what? We have SEP systems, we call slip system, we heard RTGS system, we have we call them as just pay, like lot of methods available for us to pay our services or payments through our different modes. So we need to understand what are the methods available, what is theft, what are the advantage, what is slips, and what is RTGS, and all things we need to understand. That is why these things we are going to learn under financial clients, as well as financial survey, as well as commercial bank, but in a different angle. But we look at it in a different way, but basically almost the same. So that is the advantage you are going to face. So this is the area we are going to cover under type of financial clients, right? Clear? Right. Then we move into to understand another section. So that is what you call client's confidence management. Right. Right. So first, very beginning, I show you some bank crisis and financial crisis. The why all things happen, because the loss of trust and confidence. So therefore, it is a duty for our regulators, as our country administrators, as well as our banks, to come up with some new innovative ideas how to build a trust and confidence of the clients. And that area we call clients confidence management. Why this clients confidence management important for financial system stability? Right? So I think up to now you know what you mean by financial system stability. So if you are what you mean by financial system stability? That means if you are tolerate all the internal and external shock, and without having any crisis impact your businesses, financial businesses, we call financial system stability. I think you are going to learn the financial system stability under in details in the survey. I don't going to touch much on that, right? Financial system stability is important because why banks are considered to be the financial system is considered to be the backbone of any country's economy. So therefore, financial system stability is play an important role. But what is the role of clients' confidence management? Is establishing a financial system stability. So that we are going to discuss. And also, what is customer choice and sovereignty in competitive market? So as I explained to you by me, we have around 29 finance banks altogether, and we have around 39 and 3, 4 financial institutions, and there are top of that we have insurance companies, right? Primary dealers, all are fighting for our stock market, all are fighting for our pocket. So therefore, so there will be a lot of competitions are taking place. So we, for that, so what is customer choice? We are going to discuss a little bit on that. And then we discuss about the relationship building and maintenance important with customer. So we discuss relationship marketing, little bit of that. What are the type of relationship banks having with customers? Some part we are going to discuss under law. Debtor, creditor, creditor, debtor, agency, principal, debtor, bail, bailee, mortgager, mortgagee, right? Like there are some relationships. There are some legal relationship as well as some market relationship. So we are going to discuss how you can strengthen these relationships. Okay, right. And then we discuss some of the specific products, right? Through these specific products like treasury bills and treasury bond, how can you build up the client's confidence? Because it's we call them as a gilt-edged securities, right? Those are risk-free products, and there are some innovative products, very complex products, very highly risk products. How can you build up the trust and confidence about the clients of purchasing of these products? Then the product risk. What are the risks you are going to face buying this product? Right? What are the documents you need to obtain a loan? What are the agreements? All things we are going to discuss under clients' confidence management. Right? Now you have an idea about what is clients' confidence management. That is the second part. But remember, it is not much big, right? It is a very short, even though you have some points. These are very short, section or short accepted coverage. Now we are moving to another one. That's why I told you. Now you see, I told you at the very beginning, financial client management is a fixed fruit. Now you can understand why I call fixed fruit, because it's having law, it's having marketing, it's having HR, it's having banking practices, and everything is mixing to this subject, right? Okay. Then we will under financial product marketing. So we are going to discuss a little bit of marketing. Only financial clients management talk about the marketing. What is marketing? What are the principles of marketing? What are the core concept of marketing? What are the definitions of marketing? What are the marketing mix elements? Anybody know what are the marketing mix elements? Can anybody tell me that? I need support from you. Anybody knows what are marketing mix elements? Yeah? 7.
Price,
Right, price. What else?
price,
Product.
place,
Yeah, product, price, then promotion,
place,
place. There are 3 extended P, what you call people, physical evidence, and the process. So all the marketing mix we are going to discuss. And important thing, we are not only going to learn about the what is marketing mix element, so we are going to use how banks can be use this marketing mix element to sell their sell their financial product to customers, right? That is important. How these marketing mix element try to use to sell the financial product to the customers, right? So what are these promotion methods? Now, we have a social media today, we have a digital marketing, right? So many things today, right? So new things are there. So what we are trying to look at it, how we are going to use this marketing mix element to sell the bank's product and services to customers. Clear? So that is very interesting area about the marketing. So you would never learn about marketing in any other subjects other than the clients management. Okay, right? So marketing mix. So then we are going to discuss a little bit of marketing research. Research means finding out what customers want, whether you are satisfied our existing product, whether you are satisfied with our existing services, uh, how can you how marketing research facilitate to develop market share, something like that. Okay, little bit of not, and mind you, we are not going to discuss about the marketing big lectures, right? We are going to simply touch some of the important areas about the marketing, right? How marketing research facilitate banks. That's what we are going to discuss. And also some of the research methods, how we are going to collect information from customers very briefly, right? Very briefly, we are going to discuss all these things. And also, we are going to discuss about the marketing plan. What are the key components comes under the marketing plan, right? Goals, targets, and things like that. Very simple way. And the last one, we are going to discuss about the marketing channels, or sometimes we call them as delivery channels. So delivery channels we discussed earlier are complex, changing quite oftenly. Now you see today in the banking fraternity under COVID-19 issue, how important all these delivery channels as well as the marketing delivery channels, right? Communicate with customers, right? All things we are going to discuss under financial product marketing, right? Okay, so now we discuss three important areas which are covered under financial product marketing. Clear? Right. Now we are going to discuss the customer protection laws and practices. And I just skipped some of the things. I will come back to HR a little later on, right? Now we're going to take customer protection laws and practices. Another important areas. Now, okay, before we move into this, usually there is a one question is coming from financial client, usually, right? And clients confidence also there may be a one question, and the marketing also one question is coming for your exam. But remember, these customer protection laws and practices, usually three or two to three questions are coming from this area. That is why it is important area you need to learn, right? It benefited for you as a banker as well as for student, for others subject facing student. So there, of course, we are going to discuss a lot of things. Why we need to protect customers. I told you in the very beginning, always banks are one-sided favor, right? Contractual is one-sided favor. Information is asymmetric. So therefore, customers always at a disadvantage. So therefore, central bank as a regulator come up with lot of initiatives to protect customers from those banks, right? Because banks are dealing with customers' money, right? So there, of course, we are going to discuss more details on the customer protections. laws and practices, right? One important thing is we are going to discuss financial ombudsman. So I think some of you will be aware who is financial ombudsman, right? So financial ombudsman. Then we are going to discuss about customer charter. Customer charter. We are going to discuss about uh, finance, deposit insurance scheme. We are going to discuss about credit counseling center. We are going to discuss about CRIB, Credit Information Bureau. Okay, like that, there are some important areas we are going to discuss under that. Customer protections laws, right? It is important. So we discuss in detail what is customer charter, what is financial ombudsman scheme, deposit insurance schemes and liquidity support scheme, and things like that. Right? There are some protection rules and regulations we are going to discuss in details. Not only the customer protection, but also employee protection laws also we are going to touch very briefly, like what is the purpose of having EPF, ETF and all. Right? How many of you all are aware about customer charter? How many of you are aware about customer charter? Can anybody tell me? Are you aware about customer charter? No? Sadda nani. Me neither. Right? All right. So, customer charter, have you heard about customer charter? Right, don't worry. So we are going to discuss in customer chart in detail. Then deposit insurance scheme, some compensation fund, a lot of things we are going to discuss under customer protection laws. We will spend more time for customer protection laws. Are you aware about parat execution? Banks having? Are you aware of that? Right. Okay, don't worry. So we are going to discuss a lot of things under customer protection laws and practices. Now, some of the things benefited the students who are studying law, right? So that is why I keep on telling finance management is a important mixed food subject. Okay, so we are going to spend more time for customer protection laws and practices, right? It is a duty of regulator as it is a duty of bank to protect customers. Why? Banks are doing businesses. Banks are earning profits from customers' money. So therefore, somebody need to be there to protect the customers. The regulator and other different institutions, different laws and statutes available in Sri Lanka to protect customers. Right. So this cover area we are going to discuss under financial client management. Okay. Now, so we are moving to the next part, the so-called HRM parts. Now you see, so many things you are going to learn under human resource management. So many areas we are going to cover under human resource management, right? Because why? Now, who is going to provide services to customer? Who responsible to delivery of efficient services to customer? That is the people. That is the people who are working in the organization. That is bank employees. That is you. So therefore, we need to understand some of the applications of HRM, how you make use of human resource management in promoting client services as well as confidence. Right? That is why we try to learn human resource management. Okay? So under that, there are so many things we are going to discuss under human resource management. Now, it's like a mega drama, right? It's like a mega drama. We started from all the activities in human resource management very briefly. Mind you, this is not a human resource management course. So, so therefore, we are not going to cover all the areas of human resource management, but we try to address some of the key issues, key benefits, or key concept, or very briefly, what are these human resource? Starting with starting with why human resource management is important. How human resource management evolved up to this today's position. What is job design? What is job analysis? Right? What is job description? What is job specification? What is human resource planning? What is inductions? Or what is training program? Or orientation program? What is training and development? What is mentoring and coaching? How are you going to monitor your remunerations? How we are going to measure your performance? A lot of areas we are going to look at it. How are you going to manage your discipline? If you have some grievances, how you are going to manage your grievances? How we ensure your safety and health while you are working in the organization? We are going to discuss about you, about your unions, importance of union, different methods of calculation, your salaries, job evaluation techniques, job rotation techniques, job enrichment. What are the disciplinary procedure? All HR issues, right? Mind you. So we are going to touch very briefly on HR, right? So therefore, so interesting, right? And also, you see, so many things: retirement, superannuation, labor relation, some protection laws, outsourcing, right? Now, user banks, lot of activities are given to outsource now. Security, then janitorial works, right? Sending FD renewal notices also outsourcing, right? So banks have taken a lot of outsourcing initiatives. So we're going to discuss about what is outsourcing and what are the benefits. So HRM, usually you get definitely a one question. But rather than that, one day you're going to become a manager. So you need to manage your HR. You to manage your staff. For that, having a little bit of knowledge about HR, so therefore play an important role. So that is why we need to understand HRM. HRM, how we use it to provide better customer services as well as promoting confidence and stability of the financial system. How it contribute. So somebody said, I will explain later on, financial crisis took place. One of the reasons, out of many reasons, in 2007, 2008, financial crisis took place because of HRM issue. We will discuss that part. right? So these are the subject areas we are going to cover during our future sessions, right? Today I just explained to you very brief introduction to financial crisis management. I hope you understood. Okay, have you clear? Right? Any more questions to be asked? I have not finished yet. Right. Any questions? Okay. How about Hiruni? You understood? I just randomly checked the names, right? So don't worry on that. Okay. Hiruni, you okay? Understood? Right. Okay. Right. Then, so from next week, which area we are going to start? So I thought of starting a new area. I usually start the syllabus with type of customer. I thought this time we will start it with some other areas, right? So, because while during that time you may learn some financial product from other subjects as well. So don't worry. So we will anyhow going to learn that in detail. So it's good for me. For you, we have an idea. So I am going to start next week from human resource management. You're okay for that? How many of you all have some idea about human resource management? Now you are not in the physically seeing me, if you are in the physically seeing me, I can ask from you, but how many of you are aware about, how many of you are heard, or how many about you are learned a little bit of human resource management? Not much, no? How many of you are learned human resource management? So therefore, remember, I am going to discuss with you next week uh, uh, about the human resource management. Right, please mute. Rasangi, please unmute. Please mute, okay. Right. Okay, some of the questions I have just going through. Right, okay. Right. So therefore, next week onwards, I will send you again some notes. So I'm going to start next week, human. Uh, right. Okay. One question is asked by some gentleman, some student. What do you mean by tangibility? Is that true? What is tangibility? Now tangibility, so good. If you have any problem, and this is an ideal time, I have some more time left. uh, what is tangibility? Tangibility means where you can, which is appeal to your five senses before you purchase the product. Now say, if you want to buy this bottle of water, I can see inside, I can feel it, I can smell it, whether this bottle is good or bad. And I also can touch it, right? And also I can smell it, feel it, you before you purchase. If you are not satisfied, make a pa, kira dala yanna puluwan. But services is not like that. Okay, Mohammed, what's your question? Can you put it again, Mohammed? Your question? That is what you are referring to, tangibility. Definition, right? So definitions of tangibility. So definitions of tangibility is, if anything you can purchase before you, it is appeal to your senses. That means before you purchase, you can see, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can feel it. Before you purchase, good is called tangibility. Now, say for an example, bags. Now, how can you bag? Bag is a service. Now, how can you make it tangibilize? You have a symbols, brand name, a tangibilize the thing, right? You know, Adi. So, okay. For example, you say McDonald's. Example. So brand name, you have a, you, even though there is a services offering, you have some sort of tangible things, the brand name. We know this brand will give you a quality product before you purchase, right? This brand is not going to cheat you, because we are, why you are going for certain places for dress, why you are going for certain places to do the haircut, why? Because the reputation they have built up, so you have a trust on that service provider, because they have they have past experiences, that is the testimonial. Why you go to some doctor? Because somebody tell you this doctor is superb. Atta balapu gamal later hoda vena. Right? How can you get the past papers? I think it is available, Puta, at the institute, right? Here it is available in the institutes. I think you can purchase. I don't know the present arrangement, but you can call office and ask to buy. I think it's not much. It's around 125 rupees per 1 year question paper. One one paper, right? It's around 100. Okay, sir, can you, okay, put it again, Puta? I didn't get through your question. Can you put it, the questions again? Somebody has put a question. Can you put the questions back again? Okay, I'll go through the chat. I'll go through the chat. How many years do we need to do the past paper? How many years do we need? What do you mean by that? I didn't get what. Okay, can you put the questions? Can you repeat deposit run? And okay, that's what I have done. Repeat deposit. Okay. How many years do we need to do past papers? If you can, don't worry. I will do almost all things. But if you can do, it's ideal. I could not find. Definition. Get this note. How do we get the notes? What notes, Puta? It is available in the, you can, it is available. They will send you, once you registered with IBSL, so they will forward all these documents to you. Product, price promotion, okay. Right. Any more? I heard some question, but it is not there. Right. Okay, any more questions to be clarified before we wind it up today? Right. Okay. Any more questions?
Sir, can you repeat the depositors run and the
Right.
electronic
Okay.
run again?
Right. You want to write down? Okay. Just write down. Okay. What is depositor run? You can say any distrust situation, any distrust situation, any distrust situation, any distrust situation is contagious. That means CONTAGIOUS, contagious, leading LEADING, leading customers to run to bank physically. Customers to run to bank physically, and try to withdraw money, from the bank. Any distrust situation is contagious, leading customers to run to the bank physically and try to withdraw the money from the bank. Physically gihilla, bank uda gihilla salli illana. Right. Eka depositor run. So what do you mean by the electronic run? Bank uda yanne නැතුව electronic mode එකක් පාවිතා කරලා ATM හරි online හරි ඒ සල්ලි ටික ගන්න උත්සාහ කිරීම. So that means any distrust situation is contagious, leading customers to withdraw the money without going to physically to the bank by any electronic form. example, through online, maybe through ATM machines or whatever the machines, they try to withdraw the money using electronic form. We call electronic money. Harida Oshidi. Oshidi Lewe? Oshada, no? You asked that question?
Yes, sir.
Harida Liana Kadabuta. Okay? Clear there? Terunada?
Yes,
Right,
sir.
okay. Any more questions?
Also,
Okay. Kian Monada Hanadil. No problem. Any language. Tamil also Kunja Kunja Tevia. Huh? What a king hand. Okay, Hari Hadathira. Rasangi asking, sir, can you explain the paper structure? Like මම එක කිව්ව නේද? අපි paper එකේ ප්‍රශ්න ගැන අපි questions 7ක් තියෙනවා. 7න් 5ක් ලියන්න ඕනේ. පළවෙනි එක compulsory. Right? So these are the thing. First question is compulsory. But it's easy, don't worry much. So I think you can definitely pass the paper, pass the exam. If you're really every day, if you are attending to the classes, that is more than enough. My advice is that, right? And before you come for lecture, please go through one. That's enough. And listening to what I'm telling, right? And ගොඩ යන්න පුළුවන් අඩු වියදමින් වැඩි අඩු වියදමින් අඩු මහන්සියේ පාස් වෙන්න ඕන මම කිව්ව දේ කරන්න. Okay, anybody want? දැන් අහන්න බැරලා chat එකක් දාන්න. Right, okay. So then if අද අපි පොඩ්ඩක් විනාඩි 5ක් විතර කලින් යනවා මොකද මම උදේදම ලෙක්චර් කරනවා හරිද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ 8:30 for higher diploma studies from 8:30 to 12:30 from 1 to 3 දැන් මම උඩ පොඩ්ඩක් south කමක් නෑ. So it's a benefit, it is a privilege for me to chat with you. I'm very happy. Please be touch with me and associating with me for contributing your suggestions as well as your answers. Then it's become a fruitful discussion session. Okay, thank you very much, and we will see you someone next week. Okay, right? Okay.